Education at 5:30 p.m. I appreciate everybody being willing to join us virtually. When we cancel school, it can be difficult to do evening activities. Can everybody hear me okay? I haven't used this laptop for this in a while. Okay. All right. So then I will start us off, I guess, with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's a little bit funny to do it remotely, but it's on the agenda, and well, we all love America. So, Pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag.
flag
The
in the
United
United
States of
States of
America,
America and
and
to
to
the
the republic
republic
for
for
which it
which it
stands,
stands, one
one
nation,
nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Okay. We have next the roll call. Marissa,
I have the
uh,
list. Marissa sent it to
Kristen,
me.
sorry, I didn't
Yep.
see everybody. Yeah, Kristen, do you want to just mark it off instead of calling out everybody?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. For what it's worth, we have all of the administrators and most of the Board of Ed, and the roll call will be published in the minutes. Next have the approval of the agenda. It looks good to me. Is there anything anybody's looking to add? If not, I'll hear a motion to approve the agenda.
Are we doing recognitions tonight, or are we going to pass by the recognitions and modify the agenda for that?
No, we said
Oh,
the
yes.
recognitions are going to be pushed, right?
Yeah, so we do need to modify our agenda for that. That's right. So I'll hear a motion with that amendment. They're just gonna be pushed, they're not canceled, so we will recognize those students and employees at the March meeting.
We probably don't have the student representatives with us as well. We can probably push those as well.
That's right.
I'll so move to those amendments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion, amendments, changes?
Sorry,
Hearing none, all
who
the-
was the second on that?
Patrick.
I'm sorry,
Patrick.
Patrick. Sorry about that.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, our agenda is adopted. School community service and public participation. Do we have anybody? No. Okay, there was a letter received. It's kind of lengthy, but it's also the only thing we received. They did ask that I read into the record. I don't really love reading long letters into the record, but you know, at request, we will do so. So the board members have probably received this and read it, but bear with me. This is from the department heads at Torrington High School, all of them with the exception, I believe, of the history department. I did get a list. To the Torrington Board of Education and Superintendent Wilson. As department heads at Torrington High School, we're committed to supporting the continued academic growth, well-being, and success of our students. For that reason, we respectfully urge the district to maintain the position of a third assistant principal rather than replacing it with a disciplinary dean. This role provides an essential and irreplaceable leadership capacity that supports teachers, strengthens school climate, and advances student learning. Torrington High School currently serves more than 90 certified staff members across 10 academic departments, each with unique curricular and instructional needs. In addition, the high school serves 4 grade levels and faces significant organizational complexity, including graduation requirement verification, credit monitoring, post-secondary planning, and increasingly complex social and behavioral needs among students. These needs are best served by a unified administrative team, as we have seen and experienced with the structure currently in place. For the past decade, THS has operated with 3 assistant principals, and we have seen meaningful progress in both student outcomes and school culture. Over the past 4 years, in particular, the administrative team has worked collaboratively to develop systems that support teacher growth and student engagement. Initiatives such as the MTSS framework, new teacher workshops, instructional rounds, aspiring administrator workshops, and student-centered programs like E-Day and student focus groups have strengthened our professional culture and improved our ability to meet student needs. Many of these initiatives have been heralded by the district as models to support school culture and student growth. Test scores and disciplinary data have shown the success of the work through this leadership structure. Maintaining the third AP would help sustain the progress the district has made in strengthening instruction, supporting teachers, and improving student outcomes. This year, we've seen the impact of operating without a full administrative team. Having been down 1 assistant principal all year, THS has functioned with reduced leadership capacity. While administrators and staff have worked hard to maintain momentum, the effects have been noticeable. Meetings have been delayed or rescheduled, evaluation responsibilities have stretched administrators thin, and time for classroom visits and instructional support has been reduced. These challenges directly affect school climate, teacher development, and student success. While the proposed dean position may address some disciplinary needs, it cannot replace the leadership capacity of a third AP. Consider the broader context. Torrington Intermediate School serves 3 grades and is staffed by a principal and 2 assistant principals. The high school serves an additional grade level and faces substantially greater academic and organizational complexity. A few years ago, THS operated with 3 assistant principals and a dean. The dean position was eliminated. Replacing an assistant principal with a dean now seems like a step backward, while maintaining 3 assistant principals is equitable, reasonable, and necessary. Educational research reinforces the importance of assistant principals. A 2021 qualitative grounded theory study conducted at Old Dominion University found that APs serve as content-focused instructional leaders who supervise instruction, support teacher growth, and help shape the teaching and learning process within high schools. Positioned between teachers and the principal, assistant principals serve as a critical link in supporting curriculum, professional growth, and school improvement efforts. A dean may provide operational support, but is not positioned to provide the same depth and breadth of student and teacher supervision as an AP. For example, deans may assist with lower level behavioral issues, but the role does not carry the authority to process higher level discipline and does not include the instructional leadership responsibilities of an assistant principal. As a result, the administrative team would still manage the most complex disciplinary matters while losing important leadership capacity. This suggested position is not a lateral replacement for the instructional and behavioral leadership provided by an assistant principal. To be frank, a dean cannot provide as much bang for the buck as an AP. On the contrary, maintaining the third assistant principal strengthens the district's overall leadership capacity. Assistant principals gain experience working across departments, supporting school improvement efforts, and sharing administrative responsibilities. This strengthens the district's leadership team, creates a broader pipeline of experienced administrators, assistant principals also help advance district initiatives such as the Portrait of a Graduate, working alongside teachers to ensure its competencies are embedded in classroom instruction and student learning experiences. Torrington Public Schools have built meaningful momentum in recent years through intentional systems, strong leadership, and visible administrative support. Maintaining the third assistant principal position at Torrington High School preserves its leadership capacity. We respectfully urge the district to preserve this position so that Torrington High School can continue supporting students, strengthening teachers, and advancing the broader goals of Torrington Public Schools. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration. And again, it's a list of the department heads. I can read them out if anybody cares for that. This was sent in by Matthew Grenfell, who is the math department head. But again, it was sort of all of them. So now that we have gone through that, there was no one else on. Let me just get back to the agenda. So we have the superintendent's report. Take it away, Mr. Wilson.
Good evening. I just wanted to first recognize and give a shout out to our boys and girls basketball teams for making the state tournament this year. That is no easy feat, so we wish them the best of luck. I wanted to do a congratulatory message to all of those who participated in the Frozen Junior production. It was a wonderful performance by all, and those are not easy to do. Our students are very talented. It takes a lot of time, effort, and energy from both our students and our staff to put on such a wonderful performance. And that was a good one, is what I was told. Our staff and students celebrated our 100th day of school this past month, and I know they had quite a bit of fun doing it, and it was broadcast on the several different Facebook pages for the representative schools that did that. Tomorrow, if any board member would like to come and cheer me on, I am going to be participating in the student faculty basketball game at the middle school tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a fun day, fun afternoon, I should say. Last week, I had a great time reading to Mrs. Lopez's kindergarten class. For anyone who's seen the pictures on Facebook, it was a wonderful, wonderful day. The kindergartners and I had a great time reading. I don't know who had more fun, but definitely it was a blast for me. As we all know, Mother Nature has not been kind. Definitely does not like us, does not like the Northwest corner, apparently, but maybe the state, I don't know. But with today's closure, we are now at June 22nd for our last day of school. I wanted to make it known that we will allow for an additional 2 snow days. Hopefully we don't have to use them. Hopefully that this was the last storm, but that would push us till June 24th. But in the unfortunate event that we have to go past that, we will have to look at taking days away from April break. So I wanted just to kind of make that public service announcement. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Hopefully this does not come to fruition, and hopefully that the storms are behind us. I know Mr. Pergola feels the same. I know everyone I think on the call feels the same, but I wanted to just make that aware. And as always, my cabinet and I have been around to each and every one of the buildings, and we want to give thanks to all of our students, teachers, administrators, and the entire staff for their hard work and dedication that they do each and every single day. We couldn't be prouder of that work. And that is my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Does anyone have questions for the superintendent's report?
Just
Okay.
if Dean's going to be the coach on the other side.
I don't think Mr. Pergola was actually asked to participate, Mr. Putnam. I think they know that he's past his prime, so I don't know. We'll see.
Shot of winning then. All right, we'll let it go then. There we go.
All right. We next have human resources. It's all yours, Kim.
Good evening. So you have the board report in your packet. Our vacancies continue to be about where we were trending at this time last year. We actually have one more certified opening and one less classified vacancy. So we're right in the same wheelhouse with that. Our sub rates and our absences continue to be our success story for the year. We are trending once again. Our year-to-date numbers for our sub fill rates are 88% for teachers and 68% for paras. For context, we were at 68% year-to-date for teachers and 41% for paras at this time last year. So significantly better. And then with the absences, same thing. This time last year for teachers, we were right around the same percentage. But for paras, we were at 11.3 year to date. So we are 2 percentage points less for paras. So our fill rates for teachers are at 88%, with our absences trending right around where they were, which 7.6 is a reasonable number. So that's really a huge success story for us. With respect to our ESS percentage, just to give you context on that, you can see that of our jobs that we filled, 33% were filled by Torrington employees, and last year it was 38.4% at this time. And for paras, it's 14.6%. And at this time last year, it was 22.5%. So what that tells us is that ESS is definitely continuing to build the pool and provide us with more substitutes to be able to meet our needs, which is helping to drive that number for the 88%. Our turnover numbers, again, very much in line with where we were, actually a little bit better. So all of our numbers are slightly lower than where they were at this time last year. So we're seeing just positive results all around with our HR information. What I did also provide for all of you at Ms. Saleo's request was some information about substitute retention. I know at the last board meeting, Ms. Saleo had asked about some substitutes that we had lost to Oliver Wolcott. I did find out that they are paying more on their daily rate. So that is really the driver of why we might lose people to Oliver Wolcott. They do have less needs, so there might not be as much opportunity to work. So that is kind of the catch-22 on that, but that is the driver as to why we might lose people to Oliver Wolcott, because their rate that they pay for the Connecticut technical system is higher than our rate. But what you do have is some information that ESS did provide for us, just to kind of talk about what they're doing and just some highlights of what they've provided. If you look at the bottom right of the first page of their report, it says that 12 ESS substitutes have been hired by Torrington Public Schools. So what that tells us is that the substitutes that are being hired by ESS are quality subs that we are then converting into Torrington Public Schools employees. So we've been very pleased with that. On the next page, where you can see retention and incentives, you can see some of the things that ESS is doing to retain the subs, because I know that was Ms. Saleo's question. So I just wanted to share some of those pieces of information that they do with the raffles and their extra pay for Fridays and their surveys and things that they're offering and their referral bonuses. So that's some other good information. And then on their pipelines and recruiting, I just wanted to share where they are out and about continuing to recruit for us and find quality candidates for us. And then I did want to give you a comparison of the fill rates by districts and the pay rates. Obviously, they can't give us specific districts, but they gave it to us by county. And you can see that our teacher substitute pay rate that we have, which just for your context, we're paying 135 a day for our daily subs and 145 a day for building subs and certified subs. So that's what our rates are. And you can see on this chart that they've provided that we are very competitive with our rate. The few districts that are paying more than us are not necessarily all in our geographic area. So I do think that that is helping to drive our numbers as well. And then our rates of pay for our para subs, we're at $17.50 an hour, so that you can see that we are also competitive there. There are a few more districts that are paying a little bit higher on the para rate, but still we are very competitive with that. And then there are some photos just of some of the events that they've attended. And that is it for my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. I just have one really quickly, and then I think Ms. Soleo probably had some. I saw you on mute. I'm looking at it and I feel kind of dumb, but I don't see the bit about the technical system. What's the technical system paying versus us?
Yeah, so because they're not ESS, they're not on their chart, but
Okay.
they're at 155.
Okay. All
I
right.
researched it and I found out what they were at when I looked into it for Ms. Saleo's question, and they're at 155.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Ms. Soleo, it's all yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Schulte, for getting all of that information. I think I was looking for why we were losing our good people. And you mentioned last board that you were unsure why we lost them. This was the first that you were hearing it. And I think it was either you or Ed that mentioned exit interviews. So I understand that there is a little bit of a pay difference at Oliver Wolcott. And I know that we aren't allowed to speak of specific personnel, and I won't be doing that tonight. But I just want to go on the record of saying I know there are qualified subs who used to be subs in the district who have applied, who have either stopped being called or never received a call back. Can you possibly respond to that?
If you could, maybe not in this forum, but if you want to provide me with some information, I can, but I wouldn't. The only explanation I could have if they're not being called is that their areas that they're looking for might not align with what it is, but without having specific information, I couldn't really tell you why somebody might not be called. Because if they were taken off the list, they would have been notified that they were taken off the list.
Yeah,
So
that's not happening. That's one of my concerns. It's not happening. They're just no exit interview, just no calls, and they're not sure why.
So the exit interview, I can't answer that because that would be an ESS thing. But what I can tell you for sure is that ESS has no record of people resigning to go to Oliver Wolcott. So my guess
These
is,
are our people. These are our people, not ESS people.
okay, they're substitutes. So we would need to get a little bit more information, and I can certainly get that from you if you want to send that to me so that we can find out. But I do send the exit survey to people who officially resign, but if they didn't officially resign, I don't know what that might be. So I'm happy to look further into that if you want to provide me with some information offline.
Okay. And is it your job to decide building subs or the building principal's job?
Building principals hire the building subs. They would go through my office for onboarding, but they make the recommendation
And then whose job is it to get back to them?
on if they've been selected.
Yes.
Well, they would be hired by my office.
Okay.
If they were recommended, they'd be hired by my office.
Okay. So I think there's a breakdown. Maybe you and I can talk about that later to
Sure. Yeah.
get even more qualified people who used to be in the district who just kind of were thrown by the wayside.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate
welcome.
you doing all that data and following through.
Sure. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, Kim. It's Dr. Baker. It's all yours for the special education report.
Good evening. In the report that you guys have in front of you, it is for our February numbers as of February 1st. You can see in each of the categories, starting the overall number in district and outplaced, we are up 15 students new to our district. In our district that are only K through 12 students, we were up by 13 students. Our in-district prevalence rate is still on track, only up by 0.3%. The in-district pre-K students have gone up by 3 more students. Our in-district 18 to 22, the Torrington Transition Academy is up by 2 more students. We're at 13. Our continued outplacement for the 18 to 22-year-old students has remained steady at 3 of those students. Our currently outplaced by PPT K through 12 is down 2 students, down to 66. Our agency placed students by DCF or a core placement is down to 5 students. And our magnet parent choice and our VOAG programs is up by 1 student at 40 for this month. Our 504 students have increased from the 335 students. We are increased by 6 students and currently at 341 students. Those are the February numbers, and I don't mind answering questions.
Anyone have anything for Dr. Baker?
Uh,
Go ahead, Jeff.
We had talked about maybe getting a trend line versus the state average at one point. Any chance we could get that at some point in the maybe next month's meeting, just where we've been over the last few years versus the state average? I know that a lot of people are identifying more people. We do it internally based on the 3 and 4-year-olds. I mean, all normal stuff, but just to kind of track how we're doing versus the state average over
Meaning
a
the-
multi-year period.
Totally, meaning the prevalence rate
Yeah,
or the number
prevalence
of
rate.
students identified? Okay.
Well, I'd go with the prevalence rate. I mean, our student body shifts. We've had an increase in the number of students, but a decrease in number of students in district. So
How they go
I would
through
say
the
let's
actual
go with the
PPP
percentage. Yeah.
process. Yep, absolutely. I can do that.
Thank you.
Anyone else for Dr. Baker? Okay, thank you. Sue, you are up for Office of Teaching and Learning.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good evening. So spring testing, the spring testing window has opened. We are busy administering the loss testing at the moment. And to be honest, with all the weather interruptions, it's been a challenge, but we will get it done. And believe it or not, in just a few weeks, we're going to be starting ESPA testing, everybody's favorite. Stay tuned for more on that as the time gets closer. During this month's PLC session, which was last week, the teachers engaged in a continuation of our year-long PD on high quality instruction. Our math teachers focused on the instructional strategies that support productive student discourse. They also focused on task analysis. In other words, looking at the tasks that we are assigning our kids and ensuring that the tasks are demanding enough. Our humanities folks continued the work around what high quality assessment looks like and also worked to build a shared understanding of cognitive demand in task selection. So again, are we asking enough of our kids? On March 23rd, so just in a few weeks, our Alliance reps from the state will be visiting. The format of the meeting, which is the monitoring meeting this year, is very different from in years past. This year, they're focusing on only one school. They've chosen the middle school. We've been instructed to assemble a team of teachers and administrators. The meeting, we're told, will last approximately 3 hours, and the focus will be to demonstrate where the school is in the cycle of continuous improvement. On the agenda for discussion will be student achievement, chronic absenteeism, instructional quality, and progress toward our Alliance goals. The state reps will accompany us on a walkthrough of the school, and there will be time afterwards to debrief. So there's quite a bit of pre-work, as you might imagine, leading up to this meeting. And we will be sending all of our documents, all of our completed paperwork to the state this Friday for their review in advance of the meeting at the end of March. We will be sure to update you all after the meeting, probably at the April board meeting. And that's all I have for tonight. If anybody has any questions.
Great, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Sue? No? Okay. Next up, we have Kristen with the food service report.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So food service is operating right on track. I did our halfway report financially, and we are exactly where we need to be for our forecasting for the remainder of the year. We have currently one vacancy, and if we stop having snow days, I'll be able to get the plenty of applicants that we've had in to do interviews and fill that position. But right now we're really gearing up, getting ready for next year. I'm part of the executive committee for our purchasing co-op, which we just formed. It is called Raft. And we are going to be going through the process of creating the bids for next year for all of our new products we'll be bringing into the cafeterias. So it's kind of an exciting time for food service. Another positive thing that has happened, we were also given more funding from the state for local foods. So all good things happening.
Great. Thank you. Real quick, who else is involved with the purchasing co-op?
So it is at Advance, Crack, Torrington. There is a woman from Simsbury. I'm trying to think where the other members are from. The other are two smaller districts. We make up the executive committee, and then there are currently 27 other members of the co-op, and hopefully we'll keep growing next year, so it makes the costs even better for us.
Perfect. And that's like unified purchasing for like suppliers, right? So you're going to put out to bid like food deliveries.
It's dairy, which is the milk, supplies, so our paper products, and then food and ice cream and produce.
Okay. That's all I have. Does anyone else have questions for Kristen? Jeff.
Just a quick question. Is that state funding in addition to what you talked about a few months ago when we had the whole meeting about the purchase local, the locally grown things? Are we supporting the purchase local with that extra money, or is that already in the account and already accounted for?
Yep, that's more money going towards our local purchasing. Yep.
Did you get a feel for what percentage of local purchasing we were going to get up to? Last time you were really excited about the upcoming increases in percentage of purchase local.
Yeah, I can tell you, right now it's really kind of a low for us as far as purchasing locally. We do give them a big bump in purchasing ground beef, which obviously costs quite a bit, but with all the funding, we're able to do that. I would say I can get the exact number for you, but my goal is to be between 30 and 40% purchasing locally for produce.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, we're doing a really great job.
Thank you. That's really exciting, actually. I didn't think that we were going to get that high for the local food. So that's really good news.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything? Kristen. Okay. Thank you. Liaison reports are next on our agenda. You have them in the packet. They are available to the public in the packet. You received them to your emails. And the only site administrator who's here is Mr. Scott. So if he wants to add anything for the high school, he can, but he doesn't have to. And otherwise, we will move on to the monthly financials. Donna, tell us a little bit about those.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to piggyback on Kristen and just let everybody know that we're in good standing with our budget. Everyone's received the budget up to January 31st, 2026, and we're right where we need to be, where we are in the fiscal year. We went over a few line items in the budget committee, some over, some under, and we're still, cleaning it up. But for the most part, we are in wonderful shape. I didn't know if anyone had any questions.
Questions related to the monthly financials? Hearing none, I will hear a motion to approve those.
So moved, Kisco.
Second, Putnam.
Great. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Those are approved.
I don't
Thank
think you can
you.
hear me at all, can you?
Now we can. You
Like,
might have been
yeah.
muted for a bit. I could hear you earlier too.
Jesus, I've been fighting this thing. All right, never mind. Carry on.
Okay. We now have the committee reports. Mr. Kisco, if you want to start us off with the School Improvement Committee.
School Improvement Committee met at the beginning of this month and heard a report on the middle school. All is well. And we discussed the possibility of an ad hoc committee to further look into policies and other district other district intervention, if you will, into artificial intelligence in the Torrington schools. This coming month is Fast Academy, a new thing to the Torrington Public Schools, and Kristen and I will be visiting on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. And we will hear that report at the committee meeting at the beginning of the month. And Mrs. Ferguson, do you have anything else planned for the agenda? Any courses, for instance, or any visitors?
I haven't received any new course proposals for this month, and I do have an email out to the gentleman that you sent to me earlier. So waiting to hear back from him.
Okay,
The
thank you.
community guy, yeah.
So I guess that's the report. Questions?
Was that the Western Connecticut Coalition?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was right. That was
All right.
something you had forwarded from people you are in touch with.
Okay, I know him, so I will bother him to get back to you to set that up. Anyone else have anything for John?
Oh, you don't have to bother him. I literally just sent it. So give the guy 24 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything? Okay, thank you, John. We have the policy committee next. Who wants to take that? Kristen, you usually do if Gary's not here.
Yeah, sorry, Gary's dealing with a emergency right now. So we had some discussions regarding the use of AI and computers in schools. We did hear some wonderful feedback from some of our staff members. We had a nice panel and they, contributed. However, we didn't really come to any sort of understanding quite yet. So more discussions to come, as well as we started to look at the student dress code, although I was shut down pretty quickly on that one. But I'm not giving up. So more to come on that, hopefully.
Thank you. And I thought we do have an AI ad hoc committee discussion
Yes.
further down our agenda as well. So we will continue on this journey. Does anyone else have anything related to the policy committee? Okay. Oh, I lost my agenda. There it is. We have facilities and technology next, Mr. Cronin.
Yeah, facilities and technology. We met last week. We went over the expiring contracts, which we'll be voting on later. We went over the solar. We had a solar update. And Dean went over his project updates. And then the technology side, social media is strong. Social media is strong. And we put in new security at the Fast Academy. That's about it.
Great. Anyone have any questions for that? A lot of that stuff is further down the agenda as well. Okay, thank you. Budget committee, Mr. Putnam.
Yeah, we had a good meeting. We had the presentation from central office on this year's budget presentation that was shared with the group a few weeks ago, and then again publicly. So we've got started work on that a little bit. Donna did her annual or monthly presentation, went through all the details, answered my litany of questions as usual. Things are going well in that department. We've scheduled follow-up meetings for the budget and just had a general discussion about, what was going to be reasonable to go to the city with. It's going to be a tight year, as it always is in this city. So we have a couple of those things to discuss, but otherwise things were in pretty good shape. And we're going to march on forward towards next year's budget.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the budget committee? Okay, thank you. And the building committee, they've met, I think, since we last met. Mr. Wilson, you wanted to say something for that?
I just received it hot off the press information from Mario, so I will gladly read it in if you'd like. Punch list work continues inside. The auto lift was relocated last Thursday. The shop teacher was present for the relocation. The auto lift electrical will be done this Saturday, which is great news, as will the outlet for the game cameras in the high school gymnasium. Those are the huddle cameras when they do the online broadcast for anyone who wanted to know why there's the cameras there. Balancing in the gym is ongoing. There are some floor repairs, minor in the school gym, that will need to be done once the balancing is all done. Outside work has no changes at the moment. And the mayor has appointed a building committee for the concession slash bathroom slash storage building. Tentative bids should go out within the next week. And there will be a 3-week bid period when bids will be open, and the mayor's hoping to have a low bidder approved at their April 6th city council meeting. So that is hot off the press information from Mr. Longambuco.
Great. I do have one thing. So we've talked about this a little bit, like when it comes up, when we have to visit central office and stuff. Where are we at on like the access control stuff for the elevator over there for when the board has to come in for meetings, guests, etc.?
So I can definitely hand this one over to Rachel. Rachel has been persistent is not a strong enough word. She has been beyond hounding at this point, and she has been working with ONG, and she's been working with the elevator contractor. And I know Rachel can speak to that as terms of time frame. I know she was originally looking for April break, but I believe, and I don't want to speak for Rachel, that the company could not guarantee that work would have been done in 1 week, so that it had to be pushed till once we get out of school. But Rachel, if there's any more info that you can share, I definitely don't want to steal your thunder, but Rachel has been working tirelessly on this one.
Yeah, so you pretty much got it, Michael. I basically said, if we can't have this elevator in a functioning state by the end of April break, then it's going to have to wait till the summer because that really is our main entry and exit to central office. The staircases at this point are only for emergency purposes, as well as the pass through to the 4th floor, where the classrooms are. So it's really important that we have that elevator, working for our daily operations. So I made it clear that, if any of the vendors felt that, they couldn't guarantee that the work would be complete and we would be operational for the following week, that it would need to be pushed back. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate your work on that. I actually am interested over in this staircase thing. Recognizing, of course, that we want the elevator to be available for anybody who wants or needs it. Is there some kind of access issue, like access control issue with the stairs that make them only available for emergency use? Or are you just saying that they're generally not well used, but they are available?
So our staircase connects to the rest of the building. So in an effort to keep our school secure, we do close off the staircases for emergencies only. If we were to have guests of some kind in central office, we don't allow them to have access to the stairs because it does lead to other parts of the school, as does the elevator, which is why we're in this predicament at this moment of, having the elevator programmed properly to ensure that the public can only reach central office and then exit without having to enter the building.
But you guys have access to the stairs. Like if you want to take the stairs to your office in the morning, you can.
Right. And
Okay.
they're always open for emergency purposes. So it's not like they're locked to the point where, it would be like a safety
Problem.
hazard.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's all I had related to the building committee. Jeff.
If I may add, Glenn may have something to add to, but Glenn, Gary, and myself probably beat up the building committee and Slam and ONG a little bit about this access control issue at the last meeting because there's a sizable change order associated with it.
Mhm.
And this goes way back to the beginning as to when this was all talked about. So just for the group's information. There is a disgruntled group of us who are about this $50,000 change order that's been passed through. So they're supposed to go back to the drawing board a bit on the cost. It did, obviously, it's been approved, it's moving forward, but there's a sizable cost with this, and Slam, and everybody knew about this way back in the beginning. Glenn, am I missing anything there?
No, you're right. But the change order they're requesting is not just the elevator. They're putting some delayed egress locks on the stairwell and those doors at the end, which was also brought to their attention long ago that, hey, someone comes off the elevator, they don't have the same, I don't want to talk about and go into too much detail, but that change order is just not the elevator. There's other stuff that I guess someone requested at some point. They're putting a door contact on that stairwell door that you're talking about, and so forth. A camera is a couple cameras added somewhere. So the 50,000 is above and beyond, or in addition to just the elevator card reader. Now, our problem was that the sequence of operations specified in the bid requirements says, hey, it's supposed to work this way. And I don't even know why the architect nor the security consultant doesn't take ownership of it not working the way it was specified or designed. It shouldn't be our problem, but apparently it is.
Even if it was just for the elevator programming part, that was a 10% of that bill just on the elevator vendor. So, and neither here nor there, but you asked for the update and there was a sizable enough discussion. We thought the group should know about it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, you know, if they were required to do it in the bid spec, then I agree with Glenn that we shouldn't have to pay for it. Even if we have to pay them now and then, you know, sue them later, I'm really ambivalent to that at this point. I feel like there have been enough petty problems with this project that if we lump them all together, it would be well worth the legal bills. Now, the project overall, don't get me wrong, was fine, but there have been a lot of petty issues that have cost us little chunks of change here and there that add up. This is one of them, and it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating for us when we have to get in there. I can imagine it's frustrating for all of you guys who have to be there every day. Granted, you know, you may have the access cards, but the people you're meeting with do not. All right. Well, thank you for that discussion. Does anyone else have anything to bring up related to the building committee? Okay. We next have the Board of Education minutes. So I will hear motion to approve the Board of Education regular meeting minutes from January 28th, 2026. Anyone?
So moved, Kisco.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Joe.
and that was Joe. Okay, seconded by Joe. Any discussion, additions, deletions, amendments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those amendments are approved. We next have the special meeting minutes, and barring objection, I will hear one motion to approve the special meeting minutes from January 27th, February 3rd, February 10th at 6 p.m. and February 10th at 7:30.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Was the first one Glenn or Joe?
It was Glenn.
Glenn.
Okay, any adjustments to those? Any discussion here? None. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, those are approved. We next have the subcommittee meeting minutes. As long as there is no objection, I would hear a motion to approve them all together. So that's facilities and technology and budget on January 14th, school improvement and policy on January 7th, and the building committee on January 15th.
So moved, Putnam.
Is there a second?
Second, Kisco.
Okay, any amendments to those minutes? Well, I mean, okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Those are approved. We next have the consent agenda, so I will hear a motion to receive the consent agenda.
So moved, Kisco.
Is there a second?
Second, Berger.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That is done. Okay, we now are on to the new business. We have field trips. Sue, are you telling us about the field trips?
I sure can. I know that Paulina Kalaki is, I think, on the call to
yes.
speak about the trip to Boston. Brian Scott is also here, so Brian, please feel free to jump in. The one that Emily Murphy submitted, which I think is the first in the packet, is the Museum of Modern Art. That's the trip that goes annually, so every year the kids go on this trip. And I know she has been to board meetings before to speak to the beauty of, literally the beauty of this trip. Brian, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add. This is a trip that the board has always supported.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity for the kids to go in and see some amazing artwork. But you're correct, it's the same trip we have the art department do every year.
And then I don't know, do you want to just jump onto Paulina's? This is a new request, I believe, Paulina, the trip to Boston that you have proposed. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure, yeah, we were gonna do it last year, but because I went on maternity leave, we didn't have enough time to like put it together. But so I reached out to a few places just to see like what was doable in one day. We kind of just want to take the students out for an experience where they would get to learn more about like the history topics. We have a lot of students doing a lot of unique history topics this year for National History Day, which is something the TAG program participates in, every year. So we have the upcoming competition on March 14th at the intermediate school. The intermediate school is hosting the History Day this year, so I thought going to a Freedom Trail and seeing all the different landmarks would be a nice kind of addition for the students to learn more about the different history, like the Boston Tea Party and some of the topics students have chosen this year to study. And in addition, we could just fit in a trip to the aquarium. We've done a lot with like animals in the past, so I thought it'd be just great for the 6th, 7th, 8th graders to kind of get both of those experiences in one day if we're already going out to Boston. And I did ask Michael Klein for another certified teacher if it was possible to send me, since we would have 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and he did agree. So Miss Archrock, who's a 6th grade teacher in intermediate school, has offered to go. I know it's out of school hours, it's like 6 to 6, and she said it's no problem with her. So in addition, I would just have to find 4 more like parent chaperones, which we've had good luck in the past finding really good ones from our tag parents.
Great. Anyone have questions? Anything to add? Okay, these both seem like worthy trips to me. So I will hear a motion. They are listed as one agenda item, so as long as there's no objection for expedience, I would hear a motion to approve both.
And just one more thing on the
Yes.
tag one, it's a tag in NJHS, but it's just tag. We do have NJHS students in the group, so maybe got mixed up with another proposal we were planning before, but it's just tag students 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay. All right. So I would hear a motion to approve them together with the caveat that it's just a tag trip to Boston.
So moved, Kisco.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Ms. Conway. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hands or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Paulina.
Yes, thank you for telling us about it. Okay, contract renewals. These are also one batch. Dean, do you want to start with those, or is that going to be Mr. Wilson who wants to tell us about these contract renewals?
I could do it. So the first one, Innovation Playground Services, you have in your packet. They had to adjust the name. We still had Midgeon Avenue on there, so they adjusted the name. You should see that in your packet for our playground services, which they do the inspections of our playgrounds. The next one is Yale Pest Control that we've been using for years. The number C is Hussey Advantage. In your package, you'll see a proposal that we had, but I included the wrong one at the facilities meeting. My apologies. We put in the correct one that shows the high school, 50 Major Bessie Drive, both high school, middle school inspection only, not maintenance. So you'll see a change in that from the facilities meeting. That is included in the packet also. The Jesperson contract, we're still waiting to hear back from from the lawyer on that, whether an extension is acceptable with that. So that takes care of those contract renewals.
Was there a fourth one, or did we cover all
Well,
four?
we have a solar project. That's not really a contract renewal. I didn't know if we should just do the contract renewals first.
Oh yeah, I see. We did do all those. Okay. So
It is four. Yeah.
yeah, any questions from members of the board related to that? So I'd be seeing a motion for the first three: Innovative Playground Services, Yale Pest Control, and Hussey Advantage, but not for the Jesperson contract. I also bothered the board's legal counsel about this today. Frankly, they've been a little bit slow lately. So we will update you when we know. But in the meantime, if there is no further questioning for this, I would hear. Oh,
I just have a question. So is the proposal in the packet the incorrect one? Is this the one we're approving?
For which one are you talking about?
We're talking about the Hussey Advantage.
The Hussey Advantage, yeah. That the one that says it is the second, or it's how did I word it? It says it is the oh, I just had it.
I'm just saying it just says gym bleacher maintenance at the high school.
Yeah, so in the packet, it's the service order is different. It's a $500 fee for inspections, and instead of the maintenance, which was in the neighborhood of $1,300.
If that maintenance one is still included in the packet, though.
Yeah, but it's not right. I put that in the packet, but what I'm looking for is to eliminate that one, and I want to show you that one. That the second one was also there. So.
And were we going to check with because when did the high school gym get turned over to us?
High school gym got turned over in January.
This past January?
Yes.
So
this
the
inspection
other thing we're
will
supposed to
have
ask is that do we really have to do any maintenance or inspection? Because we're wondering if it just got turned over to us. Usually they have 1 year from date of substantial completion or the time it's turned over for the contractors to take care of their own stuff.
Yeah, as far as repairs on it, but as far as inspections and seeing that it was used this year, I did talk to Hussey again. This was before the last meeting, and they recommended to go through an inspection on it just to make sure there's nothing there that needs to be repaired.
But does the current bid specifications with the school require an annual test and inspect or any kind of maintenance for the first year?
Maintenance, yes. So if anything goes wrong with it in the first year, they have to repair, but not inspection of it. So
we verified that with the building committee. They don't have any inspection during their first year.
No,
they're only going to do maintenance.
The only thing they have is maintenance.
And they did the maintenance, or they?
No, so in other words, I think it's when I say maintenance, is if something goes wrong within the year, they maintain it.
Which would make the inspection, that the point of the inspection would be to catch anything going wrong while they're still obligated to fix it for us.
Yes.
Which they are no longer. It would base because that would be January of 2025 to February of 2026. So when was the turnover on the middle? The middle school is the one that actually matters here now, because the high school is technically outside of the 1 year period from a warranty standpoint, if in fact that was the warranty according to the bid spec.
Well, actually, the middle school one is the one that would be out of warranty. That was handed over first. So that was handed over.
Right. That's right. I'm backwards. So middle school is the one that's out. This one here, the high school one, was January's in.
Yeah, I made a mistake. The high school one was turned over this start of school year. The middle school one was handed over last July. That's my fault. Last January.
Right. So the middle school's out of warranty.
Yes.
The high school, they're still obligated for the maintenance until about September.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, Jeff.
So we would want them to do the inspection of the high school bleachers at the very end of the 1 year so that we maximize the chance of them finding something they would be responsible for. I mean, that would be the idea, right, Glenn? Matt, inspect it right before your obligation is up.
Whatever Dean thinks on that. I just don't want to pay somebody for work that someone else is obligated to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it normally gets done in the summertime, so that will be right around that area, right around that time. And the actual heavy use of the bleachers is coming to an end now. Basketball season, we got volleyball season, so during the summer they'll do their inspections.
Thanks, Dean.
Okay, any additional discussion? Okay, then I would hear a motion to approve and to authorize the administration to execute the contracts proposed for Innovative Playground Services, Yale Pest Control, and Hussey Advantage.
So moved. Putnam.
Well, not as proposed.
Oh, well, with the amendments for the Hussey
Yes.
proposal, right? Is
So
there a
moved
second?
with the amendment, Jeff?
Second, Berger.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Like we discussed, the Jesperson contract, we just have some outstanding questions, so that will stay as a pending matter before us.
And can we ask, were we able to get we asked in the last meeting for a breakdown of the cost per school on that contract, Mr. Pergola, even if it is allowable, even though all the dates in the contract seem to suggest otherwise, if it was allowable, did they get us a breakdown? Mr. Berger and I were discussing that in the last facility meeting.
Yeah, hold on one second. So no, I have not gotten to the breakdown of that, but I did talk to Chase about the scope of work that he bid originally in 2022, because you did have a question as far as the square footage of that school as opposed to, let's say, the Torrington Intermediate School at this point, and what it was like. And at the time, he said that construction had taken over a majority of the property. So when he bid it in 2022, it wasn't as much as, let's say, 2020, because the construction hasn't taken over. So he did give me that explanation, but I didn't get a breakdown from him on the schools as of yet.
2022.
Yeah, so this contract here, I'm looking at it, is 2022.
Yeah, that's when it was first executed. We were still in the old building in 2022, and the fields.
Yeah, but the site was taken over pretty much. So his site work, his cutting of the grass and cleaning up at that point, between the fields and the construction zone, really, when he bid it, he was bidding it off of, not having that stuff to do because it was in construction. So this was awarded January 23rd of 2023.
No, that was the first addendum.
Yeah, that was the addendum for, yes.
The original contract was 2022.
2022, yeah. So that was his explanation on that, but I did not get the breakdown. I will get that to you as soon as I get a phone.
Okay. Now we next have the solar project at the high school, middle school. Tell us a little bit about what the proposal is there.
So we had the solar company come give us a little a description of the change as far as the rebate goes, and he answered quite a few of the questions that we had, and I guess it's left up to the board to approve it to go to the city. to see if see if they are interested in moving forward on it.
And this is to install, this is one of those deals where they install solar at no upfront cost and then they take your savings until they're paid back. Is that right?
Yeah, this is something that you're not paying upfront for. We don't own the panels. They own them. There was a questions and answers that I get, that I put together as far as, what happens, when you have to repair them and end of life use, things of that nature. So I did compare it a little bit with our Forbes that we did back in 2012 or 14. We have solar panels on there. The big difference was we own those at Forbes. A little bit of change in the philosophy, I think, of how they're going forward with solar panels. So, yeah, it was a very insightful meeting. So he was able to answer a lot of the questions. Everybody seemed to, be okay with it. Just waiting to, bring it to the city to see what they have to say about it.
Now, was there, I arrived late to that meeting, so I missed this part, but was there a guaranteed like savings or some sort of scheme where we don't have to pay them more? What I don't want to do is raise our costs because these things aren't as effective as they're promising they will be.
Can I take that one?
Yeah, go ahead. Please do.
So this is a little different, Ed. You're talking about an agreement where they basically put the system in, you pay them a lease, you pay them a price, and then you save money. That's what you're talking about. This is what's called a PPA. So this PPA means we don't owe them anything. All we're doing is promising, guaranteeing we're going to buy the electricity produced by the panels from them. So there is no risk to us in that regard. We pay them 3.79 cents per kilowatt all the way through. It goes up like 1% a year, but the 3.79 cents is our price. There's no loan payment to them. There's no way to be upside down. There's a performance guarantee in it as well for how much, how many kilowatt hours it will produce. But there's no risk to the district other than what Mr. Berger and I have been talking about, which is, roof warranties and things. And it seems
Well,
like
that was going to be my next question, actually, is what happens when they bolt a bunch of stuff to our brand new roof?
So most of it's not bolted. Most of it is weighted down because of the way the panels are. The only ones that would have fixture points to the building would be the ones on top of the auditorium. There's a bunch of specs back and forth between GAF and Green Skies. There was a question that went back and forth, and Mr. Pergola can expand on if everybody actually agreed on it, but it seems like these guys worked together and there was going to be written guarantees in both directions. There's even fixed pricing for if the roof leaks and it's not the solar company's problem for removing the panels and putting them back. I mean, there's a whole intricate document on how this would work in their what's called the performance guarantee. So in the actual PPA agreement, you'll see all of that stuff.
And it's contractually binding. So if the board votes to approve this tonight, is that binding that these people are going to fix our roof if they screw it up?
That's how it's written, yes.
So he says.
That's what he said. Obviously, legal review would be required, right, Mr. Berger? But I mean, that is what they're telling us. So if we approve it and the city approves it, I'm sure everybody would have their attorneys look at it before anybody fully executed it, like we do with almost any of our other contracts of much larger values.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we also want some type of approval from the city? Because it's really a city building.
Yeah, that's the idea. Where if we approve this tonight, then we'll bring it to the city.
I think it's got to work the other way around.
No, I think it's right that we go first saying we want this, especially because we're the end customer. And then we ask the city if it's possible to put these on their building. So I'm like somewhat familiar with these schemes. And so what happens, say, if this company goes belly up? From whom are we purchasing the power at that point? To whom does the ownership of the panels transfer? Was that discussed at all?
It was not discussed just specifically, but generally speaking, in PPAs, they're backed by large private equity firms. So that's who finances the installation of the panels. So Green Skies, I'm sure, borrows the money over a 20-year period so that their cost is lower than what they're getting paid from us. But when these types of things happen, generally any energized system gets bought by somebody else, and it's the pennies on the dollar for those guys. No impact to us besides who we'd be writing the check to.
Well,
in
that it's
general,
a,
that's how it.
right. It's important that the agreement be entirely transferable, right? Whatever blood-sucking private equity firm buys this up if they go bankrupt needs to still be obligated to fix our roof, to fix the panels, et cetera, et cetera. So is the agreement durable?
Should be, and there's even a bond. There's a bond for repairs of things as well, I believe, right into the final version. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, Mr. Berger, but we did ask that question.
I was reading something, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we did. We asked him for, for a bond for replacement. And they said, yes, that would be in the agreement.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Does anyone else have anything? Okay. I will hear a motion to authorize the administration to go through the steps to execute this agreement, including approaching the city of Torrington for its approval.
So moved, Putnam.
Is there a second? Perhaps Mr. Berger wants to second it. You want to second this, Glenn? Somebody?
Second.
Anybody?
Second,
Okay.
sorry, I was on mute.
Thank you, Joe. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Abstain-
Berger.
Okay. So
I'm sorry.
Glenn voted no.
no. Okay.
Any abstentions? Okay, so that does carry. Thank you. We next have new course proposals, Yukon ECE Physics, and course proposal from the fire chief. Sue, are you going to tell us about those?
Yeah, Brian Scott's going to jump on and talk about the physics course in a second. For those of you who are at the School Improvement Committee meeting, you will recall that Mr. Rick Dubois was in attendance, and he did a really nice job of explaining the physics course and the rationale behind this proposal. But Brian is here, so we're going to make him earn his keep tonight, right, Brian?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so this is an additional physics course. I believe the one that we're talking about tonight is the Physics 1201Q General Physics. Is that right, Sue?
Yep.
Okay. So this physics course would be an additional physics course. We would still continue to run our advanced physics course, our EC, our early college opportunity physics course. This one would be more targeted towards reaching a greater group of students, so not quite so specific or difficult as the early college opportunity course. But it would go over many of the same basic parts of physics. So the course would include the laws of forces and motion applied to mechanical phenomena. Concepts such as work, mechanical energy, linear and angular momentum, and energy conservation are all explained within the course. And the physics laboratory offers fundamental training in precise measurements, all of the concepts that are featured in SAS standards.
Great. Anyone have any questions regarding the proposed physics course for Mr. Scott or for Sue? Okay. Thank you. These can be bundled. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the proposed fire chief course?
Yeah, so again, if anybody was in attendance at School Improvement, you will remember that we had a very exciting community partner join us. So the fire chief was in attendance with a colleague whose name escapes me right this second. But they did a great job with Mr. Andrew Marchand. The three of them had, and one of our guidance counselors, Ryan Dickens, had attended back in the fall a summit on fire science and fire safety, along with many other representatives from school districts across the state and across the Northeast, actually. I had been approached by Fire Chief Tripp over the summer about the opportunity to potentially partner with us to develop a course that would be taught by the firefighters in town. They would sponsor the course. They would come onto our campus. It would be offered as an elective for our 11th and 12th graders. And it would serve a couple of purposes, right? It would really align beautifully with one of our pathways. And it would also, so it would give, from our perspective, it would help us to give our students some of that real world experience and some hands-on opportunities and sort of to dip their toes into something that would give them perhaps some insight into a career choice when they leave high school. But it also helps the fire departments in the state that are really having difficulty with recruitment. So they really want to come into the comprehensive high schools across the state and offer these opportunities to kids. So that was kind of the conversation that we had at School Improvement. We don't actually have a course proposal in the packet because the committee asked that we bring this to you folks as a full board before we go down that path and really put more effort into this. Is this a partnership that our Board of Education really would like us to pursue? I guess is the question on the table.
Right. So we are approving a concept when we approve the fire department's proposal. McElroy is the name of the fire or the Board of Public Safety Commissioner, former fireman in
Thank you.
Torrington. And so we're approving the course. The physics course is ready to go.
Mhm.
The fire course is going to require some discussions about staffing, about credits and things like that. But I think we should approve it as a concept just to know if we want to go forward with this or not, because it does have all the benefits that Mrs. Ferguson outlined to us and to our students and also to the fire department. Keeping them happy could help too. So,
Kristen.
Hey everyone. So yeah, I was actually there at the school improvement meeting, obviously, and I got a chance to hear this proposal, and I was really impressed. Not only was it a really thought out program, but also it gives just another opportunity to our high school students. I think that what we offer at the high school is just amazing, but this is yet another something. And what's so funny is literally the next morning I got a phone call from my best friend, and we were chatting about where her older son is going to school as he's a senior this year. And I said, what about Vinny? What does he want to do? And she's like, oh, he wants to be a fireman. I was like, wait a minute, this is amazing, because we just heard a proposal last night. And she said, oh, that would, and I was telling her about it. And I said, it's still in the works, and we of course have to approve it and get a concept and all that. And she was like, oh, that's amazing, he would love that. So, I mean, it's just and she even said this is something so many boys and girls would love to do. So I'm super excited about this. And I do hope the board chooses to move forward with it. It's such a good program and just offers yet another amazing opportunity for our students.
Thank you. For what it's worth, I'm in support of this. I just want to quickly ask, so structurally, would we have to get this firefighter certified as a teacher? Or I know there can be like exceptions if they are teaching what's effectively like a technical education class. So I just kind of am wondering about the mechanics there before anything else. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but.
So Kim, I'm going to ask Kim to step in and talk about that a little bit, because I know what you're talking about, Ed, but it wouldn't just be the firefighter as the only educator in the room either. But go ahead, Kim.
So I think what you're referring to, Ed, is the trade and industry certification, which with the trade and industry certification, you can become certified as a teacher for different kinds of, it's construction technology, for auto mechanics, culinary, things of that nature. You can become certified in those areas if you have worked in those functional areas for more than 3 years full time. So there's requirements that they have to meet ultimately to take like a special ed course and other things, but you can become certified in those areas. So, if that's the route we want to go, but to Sue's point, I think we have to kind of have a conversation about what it looks like. So if there's going to be, for example, a certified science teacher that's going to be the teacher on record for the course, and the firefighter is just kind of be our community liaison that supports that course, then no, the science teacher would be the certified individual in the room, and it would be handled a different way. So I think we'd have to figure out the nuances of the concept before determining what we would have to do.
Yeah, thank you. One more thing I just forgot about that I'd love to add is, we have the benefit of having that beautiful fire training school right here locally. And the two folks that joined us, Mr. McElroy and Chief Tripp, were talking about bringing our kids on site to the fire training school to do, to really get them in the thick of what it is to be a firefighter. So this would not just be theory in the classroom. This would be actual hands-on, on the job kind of experience, almost right from the beginning.
And for what it's worth, sorry, Joe, I do see your hand. I'm almost done. For what it's worth, too, I think even for those students who maybe go through this and don't want to be professional firefighters, some kind of partnership to pipeline those kids over to the volunteer department could be useful. I mean, volunteerism in firefighting is really down, but it's, I think, pretty essential, especially in a city like ours where our only water tanker for areas without city hydrants is volunteer manned, which would be quite the problem if you live in rural Torrington and there are no volunteers available. So my only other question, again, it's sort of mechanical, is who in this concept is paying the fire overtime for this? Because it's not cheap. And I'm, again, okay with it. I just want to know, right? I want to sort of be able to plan ahead from the Board of Ed side that if we have to pay our firefighters overtime for X amount of days per school year, that's something that we have put a pin in.
To be honest, we didn't even talk about that, Ed. So I think it's a really good question, and I'm sure that will come up. But before we even started having those conversations, I think we wanted to get a sense of whether or not this board really wanted to explore this for us to move forward.
And I most definitely do. And that's the last of my questions. Jeff, you wanted to jump in.
Just to add that one of the other big things out of this was somebody would graduate if they finished successfully the course. It's like a 60-40 in person or on hands-on versus book knowledge or taught knowledge. We have to figure that was the biggest hurdle was how do you get the actual hands-on training? That was a logistics thing we had to figure out. And secondly, when they graduate this program, however long it ends up taking, they have a firefighter one, certification, which let them walk into any volunteer fire department and immediately, step on a truck and go help, respond to an emergency. So it's a great skill build, whether they end up being a full-time fireman or not. It's a great thing to offer to any community and a great one for our own city.
Thank you. Kristen, were you starting to raise your hand a minute ago?
Yes. So I did want to just touch on a couple of things. In terms of the hands-on training, they said there would be some weekends that the kids enrolled in the program would have to attend. Not every weekend, but they did say some. And they did say something about a fee. I want to say it was $265 or $235 per student. And there was some discussion whether or not that would be paid completely. Would it work like a UConn course where it's paid 50-50 by the parent and the board, or if it would be something that would be completely on the parent or student to pay. And that that was still very preliminary, but I want to say that was the cost. So we could say roughly $250 for now. I don't remember which number it was. I'd have to look back at my notes.
And that was for the materials, the book and the required materials. That was not labor to your question earlier. It was just the materials to conduct the course.
Correct.
Okay. I think any course that we're offering, we really shouldn't be charging people. As a public school, we offer a free and public education in accordance with the law. I don't think that we really ought to start making exceptions for that. So I am firmly against charging our kids to learn anything in our buildings. We already have pretty significant expenses associated with athletics and other extracurriculars and field trips, et cetera, et cetera. I really don't want to put a cost on any other educational opportunities. So I hope the board would agree with that and that people would keep it in mind as we plan ahead for this, that if we're going to do this, I want to pay for it. Or somebody who's not the family has to pay for it. I don't want to put this really important coursework behind a paywall. Is there anything else on this matter, or can we hear a motion to approve it? To authorize the administration to start the process?
So moved, Putnam.
Is there a second?
Second, Berger.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? Okay, that passes. Wait, did I see a hand go up just now for abstention or something? No, okay, I thought I did. All right, then we last have the AI ad hoc committee. I know this was discussed at length at policy. I'm not sure if you had anything to add outside of the report you gave, Kristen. So I think, we've discussed this a lot. The committees have discussed it. I think we all agree that we want to do an ad hoc. John was taking the lead in some part on this too, and I saw he just unmuted. So did you want to kind of kick off what your thoughts are for this, John?
First of all, to clear up something, the discussion at the policy meeting was the use of technology in the classroom far more than AI. AI was discussed at school improvement. Short answer to your question is yes. I wouldn't mind overseeing the process if that's what you're asking, or at least continuing to have a part in it. I'm not sure. That's why the whole board is talking about how we want to do this. Maybe we should have a committee to come up with a proposal for a committee. Or at the very least, I would suggest, and I'm sorry Gary isn't here because he's definitely a part of this, and there would be implications for what he's thinking with his device use policies and things like that. So maybe what I would like to ask the board for is permission to engage in discussions with Gary and anyone else who wants to volunteer to be a part of this group, just to bring a proposal before the board for an ad hoc committee. And I know it sounds stupid to have a committee to talk about forming a committee, but I think this might be the way to go with this. We don't need to have anything in place until the beginning of the next school year. It'd be very useful, I think, to have something in place for the next school year and have it be able to be incorporated into student handbooks and faculty handbooks and things like that. So I don't think there's any necessity to do it right now tonight, as opposed to next March. But in between, I'd like to get together with other people who might want to form the core of a group to look at this.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think you've taken the lead on it through your committee thus far. And like I said before, I'm certainly really interested in and invested in this issue, but I don't think this is a committee that I should chair. So if you want to take the lead on sort of what you think it should look like structurally, we can also ask that anybody who's interested in participating contact you, and that would go for, of course, our employees as well as our administrators and us. I know you were thinking about keeping it small, and I think that's the right move for this. I don't think we need 30 people. But I'm going to stop there because Glenn also has his hand up.
Just a quick question. I know we have committees and meetings ad nauseum about various things. John, would you be opposed to rolling in the classroom technology and AI into one group discussion since they're kind of related?
Well, I see these as two separate areas. The technology facilitates artificial intelligence, and this is you may be right. There may be reasons to do that. I haven't thought in those terms. In fact, when I have thought of it, I've come to a different conclusion about it. But it doesn't mean that it wouldn't happen. One of the things that happens when you start talking about device use is that people get their backs up on this. And that's what we heard in policy. Some of the people who came before us were assuming that the Board of Education wants to pull devices out of the classroom. It's not Glenn, you were there, right? You saw that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That was the attitude
that
they
was
had,
their
I think.
perception. But
Right.
It wasn't accurate. But
so I wouldn't want to set up a lightning rod if we're tainted with that particular misconception. But volunteer to we can do this all together. Send me a little text or an email or something saying, hey, I want to be part of this. And we'll all have a chance to talk about it. What I propose doing, if the board wants me to, if not, that's fine too. But what I would do tomorrow, we to get something out, get an email out tomorrow, the day after, to the board, and then depend on, well, probably Sue or someone else to get the word out to the faculty that we're looking for just a really small group to talk about what we want to do to form a committee to look at this. So. But if someone doesn't think that's a good idea, please, let's say it now.
Yeah, no, I think, if we move quickly on the structure, because I don't think it has to be too agonizing to determine the structure, we can really sort of set this up as a board at our next meeting, and then you take off running through the spring. So I'm personally fine with that. Everybody who's interested, reach out to John, unless someone has other thoughts on how we ought to kick this off.
My only thought was that I would be careful about combining the topics because each has its own polarizing viewpoint. Somebody may not think that the classroom should have a computer in it, but that AI has a place for, education delivery. I would try and keep them separate. Maybe they have to combine or converge towards the end, but that lightning rod aspect is probably pretty accurate to John's point, and I think those goalposts will not be sitting on top of each other. They will be a little bit further apart, in my opinion. So I might start separate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably right. Anyone else have anything? Okay. So we don't need to take action on that. We have items for the upcoming agenda, so we will have at some point in the next month hopefully something to do with landscaping. We'll have, of course, the AI ad hoc stuff. Not sure if you guys think you can have something ready for the firefighting class in the next month, but maybe. If not, we'll do it when you're ready. We'll have budget related matters. Anyone else have anything that they think we ought to place on next month's agenda?
Any chance of an update on the audit?
Oh, yes. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to place on the agenda at that time. I did follow up with the board's legal counsel who engaged the auditor on our behalf. They simply reported that it is ongoing. They were going to touch base with the auditing firm that they've engaged to see if they've determined a prospective end date. But we have not heard one yet. So I hope so. And I think we can definitely give an update, even if it isn't a conclusion, next month. Anyone else? Okay.
I just have some information for Dean. It looks like the bleachers have a 5-year warranty. Just so you know.
Okay, well that changes the game on what we have to pay for.
Well, it
as
doesn't
far
include
as
maintenance. Maintenance isn't included in that, but it's the warranty.
Warranty, yes.
So if they come in and they're greasing the wheels and they say, "Oh yeah, this is busted." Well, because on their proposal it says any equipment outside truck stock will be quoted separately. That's not quite the case.
All right, thank you.
FYI, even if you want to know the document where it is, I can give that to you.
Okay, so that's that. If you guys need to connect on that after this, you can. We next have future meetings, Wednesday, the 4th, school improvement 5:30, policy at 6, March 11th. That's also Wednesday. Oh, and sorry, the ones on the 4th are at Fast Academy. Facilities and technology and budget on the 11th. That's at the usual place in the TMS cafeteria. And then we'll have the public budget workshop, public hearing, whatever you want to call it, on Monday, the 16th at Vogel in the library. And then the regular meeting of the board on the 18th of March, Wednesday, in the TMS cafeteria. Comments for the good of the order. This is, virtual meetings are a bit funny, and I'm sure we're all eager to get off of this program. So I'm not going to call on everybody's name. If you have something you want to say for a comment for the good of the order, raise your hand or just start talking. And otherwise, I will hear a motion to adjourn. Oh, John.
I wanted to say thank you for setting it up this way. It was good that we could get the meeting in at our regular date, and happy to see everybody here. So good thinking.
Yeah, I figure we're not going to make everybody drive in on a snow day. Kristen.
Hi, everyone. Great meeting. Just want to say thank you, Mr. Wilson, for mentioning all those great achievements by our students and staff members. Did want to add one quick thing, although I'm biased. The Torrington High School cheerleaders did place third in the Berkshire Invitational on February 19th. So that's great for them. They did bring home a trophy, as well as the Frozen Junior production was amazing as well. Mrs. G always does such a good job with that, with Mr. Skinner and all the staff members that help. But it really is a student production. The students do everything. There's a lot of staff members behind the scenes helping, and kudos to them for their hard work. But really, those students deserve a huge round of applause because they do the lights, the music, the acting, everything. It's just really, really wonderful. So kudos to all of them.
Thank you. Glenn, was that hand raised on purpose? I see you, Rachel.
No, that was a clap.
Oh, it's clap. I'm sorry. Okay.
Thanks,
Rachel.
Thanks. I just wanted to mention one more time that the St. Jude's Telethon is this coming weekend. So just wanted to put that out there one last time. So just so that we can show them our support.
And that's Saturday, Rachel?
Let me double check. I believe it's Sunday. I believe it's March 1st. Yep. Yep.
Great. Thank you. And I also have a reminder because Miss Clackey reminded me when she mentioned History Day. From what I understand, they are still looking for judges for the regional contest on their website. So it's Saturday, March 14th. I don't see the time right away, but I've done it before and it is fairly early for Saturday. It's like 7 a.m. You've got to get there. But it's really worth doing. I'm trying to finagle my schedule so that I can judge it. I think they're pretty short on judges this year. So if anyone is able to judge History Day, you might get lucky and get to judge something fun and interactive. I always get unlucky and get stuck with the papers. So I read hundreds of pages of history essays. The website is historydayct.org if you want to sign up to be a judge. Anyone else? If not, I will hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Kisco.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:03. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ed. Take care.